Okay, guys, so we're going to introduce every member of the Aqua Miners team. We should start with Nico because he's going to freeze to death. So, Nico.
Hi, guys. All right, so my name is Nicolas. Been living in China for 15 years. Got into crypto a couple of years ago through my good friend Sebastian. Started mining Ethereum, which we are still doing, and bought an NFT not so long ago, also because of Sebastian. And through this experience with the Aqua Miners team, I've gotten to get more familiar with how everything works in blockchain and how the NFT market is moving. And basically, I'm an investor, and I raise capital for different projects. And this is one of the most exciting projects I've been working with so far. I mean, it's dynamic, it's new, it's Bitcoin. And yeah, it seems very promising. I mean, I'm very, very happy to be part of this team, and I believe in the project. I feel like the fundamentals are there, and I really honestly believe that this is a project that can deliver value for the NFT holders. So I'm gonna be one of them for sure.
Okay. Awesome. One founder down. Who wants to go next? Sebastian, they just mentioned you, so go for it.
All right. So, okay, so my name is Sebastian, like Nico said. Yeah, I'm kind of like the, if you want to call it, the godfather of the Aqua Miners team, because I put the guys into a lot of the crazy ideas that we have. But I always run to them and say we basically run like a team, and we all talk a lot over the weeks, and we have a very nice communication flow between all of us. And we decided to start this because, like Nico said, I started with mining a couple years ago, but I've been in the industry for more than 6 years. I lived the 2017 bubble. I lived the 2020 bubble, and I'm currently living the 2022 bubble. So I cannot say I'm, I want to say veteran investor in Bitcoin, but experienced, that's for sure. And I also I work for my real life work is basically I work for wealth management and for a British company here in Shanghai, in China. I've been doing it for the past 4 years and combining a little bit of both things, very attached as well. So that's what I've been doing for the past 6 to 7 years, and put this idea together about the project, about Aqua Miners and how can we deliver value to NFTs. And this is when I started talking to Santiago, and we start formulating the project early February. And he started talking to me about the art, and I said, look, this is just art. It's not something that I'm very interested, but he's like, no, the art is cool. You should also focus on that. And I'm like, okay, but we need to deliver value as well. Otherwise it's useless. So that's where we would start combining ideas and decided like, okay, what is the best way of bringing some real value to an NFT project? And we decided that Bitcoin mining is the way. So like I say, being in the space for a long time, living in China, dealing with miners as well, especially manufacturers. So a lot of connections here on that. And with Nico also, we have a lot of, let's say, know-how inside of China. So we can move this place very well. And yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
All right, awesome. Santi.
Hi, I'm Santiago. I'm a Colombian living in Mexico. I'm the UX head in the Aqua Miners project. I have more than 10 years of experience in UX and development, and also I have worked for banking and retail industry. But I'm currently lead a design team in a Mexican company, and that's it.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's me. Okay, Letizia, I've had maybe 10 years of experience in marketing. And for the past 6 years, I've been focusing on marketing and branding for Web3 projects. I used to work for an exchange. I was the CMO of their labs. And then Sebastian approached me, talked to me about the project, showed me the art actually. And growing up in Miami myself, I thought it was pretty dope. So now I'm here with you guys and we're gonna push the project forward, right? Build real value for the community. So guys, actually I've gathered a few questions that the community had about the project. So I think I can just start reading them out loud and then we can just start approaching each question as direct and quick as possible. So we leave no question unanswered. How about that? Is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Do it. So the first one is, what exactly is the Aqua Miners project? Okay, so who wants to go for that one?
Damn, that's a very good question, very broad question, I would say.
So how can we answer it directly?
What is the Aqua Miners project? So it's basically we're trying to deliver value through NFTs. It's just that we had so many projects that Santiago and I were involved in terms of art and NFTs. We got rug pull or scams and stuff like that. That we were just like, it cannot all be just about art. It cannot all be just about scams. It cannot just be that bad. So Santiago and I were like, yeah, how do we create something that is really unique, special, and at the same time pretty cool? And he came with the art, which I think the art is inspired by the art of the 90s, and basically inspired by all that kind of like theme, so to speak. And this is why you check on us and we're wearing fucking, I don't know, guayaberas, like we like to call it in Spanish. And
Hawaiian shirt.
But in a nutshell, basically the project wants to give you access to Bitcoin mining through your NFT. And that is basically what we're trying to do.
So basically your NFT is kind of your ticket, right? It's like not just the artist, just the beginning is your ticket towards the bigger scheme of the project.
Yes, that's correct. So we wanted to make like NFT mining accessible to a lot of people. And we honestly believe that the only way to do it is through massification, so to speak. And the only way to gain that, because Bitcoin mining is extremely expensive. Buying the equipment is extremely hard to buy large amounts of equipment if you don't have a large amount of capital. So we decided, how can we do this on a massive scale without involving too much investment from part of individuals? And we saw the opportunity with NFTs, and that's when we jump right on the idea of developing this project around that.
I'll add that,
I love how Nico raises his hand like, can I talk? We're not in a classroom. You can talk, Nico.
Well, I can't raise my hand in here. But one thing I'd like to add is the fact that talking with the project about the project with many friends who are interested in NFTs, but they don't have access to the kind of information we've had in the past couple of years, or they just don't trust the system so much. It's access to Bitcoin mining for a lot of people who don't know how to do it, don't know how it works, don't know where to act. And a lot of these people are going to be holders of the NFTs, are going to be friends. And we hope to make, thousands of friends through the NFT community, Aqua Miners. But it's about giving access to Bitcoin mining to the common people who are not so familiar with the topic.
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Amazing. So how did you come up with the idea? Who came up with the idea and how did they get started?
Okay, that was an interesting story. I think it was Santiago and I were talking about, I don't know, I think we have a random call, like early December, if I'm not mistaken. And he was asking me, yeah, he was actually asking me about a project, I believe, about an NFT project that he was getting into it, and he asked me about crypto stuff, and we started talking about, because he was asking me for some advice, but she should put money into it. Should I buy more Bitcoin, Ethereum? And he was kind of getting into that, and he knew that I was already doing that, and I was already doing some mining, so he knew he could basically, I can give him like a good advice on what to do, how to move forward. So we started talking about that, and then I told him, have you checked this NFT kind of stuff? And he's like, yeah, this is very interesting, but I don't know. I got like scam on one of the Solana things that I put into it. They basically robbed my money. It was like a root pulse scam of the project. And I say, yeah, that's happened to me as well. So all that stuff kind of like coming out, all the negative parts of the NFTs space. But then I was like getting more and more involved, and then I got into Crips late on 2021, which was a very cool project. They're trying to do something on branding and trying to create their own kind of like, if you want to call it, like their own cartoon series animated in Netflix and stuff like that, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, so then the project in February, Santiago and I were like, you know what, let's just dive into this. Let's put up a team together and they start to assemble some sort of project. But it was always the question, what value are we going to give? What the hell of value are we going to give? It just cannot be just art. And then I think Santiago was like, okay, why don't we just do mining as a value? And I was like thinking about it, like, because we were doing Ethereum, and Ethereum was fine, but I always wanted to do more Bitcoin, because I do have a little bit of Bitcoin, and mining as well, but not as big as Ethereum. And the problem was always about the investment side of the capital that you need to buy the machines and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that's how the conversation went. And then we just started developing the team, and they were like, okay, so how are we going to develop the smart contract? So we allied with an amazing guy in Mexico that Santiago bring in. His name is Servin. You probably will talk to him later on. And he started developing the smart contract. So we designed the project in a way that was like going from the back to the end. We wanted to have everything ready before we actually kind of start building community. But now that I think about it, maybe we should have to start building community late in February and then jump into the development. But yeah, it's just how we did it, and that's it.
It's okay. The community is going to come. A real project with real value, like that's everything that you need. So actually, the next one is a pretty funny questions. We got like, why the fishes and why the 90s? So I think that question is for Santiago, like why fishes and why the 90s? You have some explaining to do, basically. That's what they're saying.
the name of Aqua Miners was given because we are thinking of having like a liquid cooled mining machines.
Okay.
So that's the beginning of the brand and the concept of the art. And for that reason, we define fishes as characters of the NFT collection. And then we choose like the 90s vibe for many reasons. Because one, our team lives this era. Those the 90s.
Born in the 90s.
Yes. the 90s have a lot of graphic reference, like hip hop music, cartoons, bold colors. So we could take all of these graphic reference to generate like an amazing art. So that's the main reason. And now it's a big trend in design, the 90s. So we are going to see this trend for several years. So that's the main reason for the art.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so there was a component of marketing as well, right? So we were like, this was a little bit driven more by Santiago, right? Like it's like, okay, this is something that might be in a trend for the following years. So we kind of like plug into that, and we decided like, okay, this is something that we can also put as a value for the project, right? Because we're creating something that is not only like a short-term thinking. It was more about, let's give a long-term value. And yeah, so it's also about that. We're also thinking about this project can be for many years, not just for, oh, this is the PFP and this is the art and that's it, bye-bye. No, so that's not the idea that we have.
Okay. Well, I don't think it's all marketing. Come on, we all love the 90s. We all enjoy that time. We still listen to 90s music. Like before this, I'm sure you guys were like, let's put some Biggie to get ready for the meeting. Like it's not all marketing.
True. It is all not about marketing. I agree.
The sustainability component there, because by submerging the machines in the liquid cooler or coolant, it's going to be less expensive less energy consuming.
Okay.
So that's also a very nice component that most mining projects don't have.
Okay. So that's why the fishes.
The fishes came from that. Okay. Yes, it came from that. But I mean, it came from that idea.
We got that question a lot. Why fishes? Like, where did that come from? Like, so I think it's important to answer that.
No, look, and you're gonna have the conversation with the artist later on, and she started just digging into, okay, let's start drawing this. And if you check the first drawings that we have, they were like very similar to some things, and she was like, okay, what about this? And she started creating the layouts, and it was a lot of work, to be honest. And I have to say the huge thanks to Isabel to doing all that. And it starts developing and morphing. And that's basically what we do. The whole February, March, we were building the art. And I think I would say also April. And then we start like moving like that. Yeah. It was very interesting.
Yeah, the art is really dope. I mean, I got into it first for the art. I mean, I love Bitcoin mining, but I think just the art is dope.
Yeah. So yeah, so you will talk to Isabel as well.
You raised your hand.
And yeah, go for it, Nico. 3 what, mate?
3% on my phone.
3% on your phone. Nico was prepared for the meeting. Let's go. Okay, so let's see. Where did you see the project in 6 months, 2 years, and 5 years? Nico, you can answer this one in case your phone dies.
Yeah, go for it.
Where do I see it? I mean, in 3 years?
6 months, 2 years, and 5 years.
Well, in 6 months, I definitely expect to have all of the holders for all of the NFTs for the project, and for them to start receiving already their fraction of the Bitcoin mining operation. That would be the best result. I mean, that's what we're aiming for. That's what we actually want to do. And then in the longer term, well, I mean, the longer the holders keep their NFTs, the more Bitcoin they get, right? And what I'm looking at here is, from an investment point of view, is the wealth and freedom for all of the holders for this project. I mean, if Bitcoin shoots up, then all of the holders of the NFT are going to have a much more comfortable financial situation, you know, and they can potentially invest in future projects that we're coming up with that the guys might explain later, and, you know, contribute to the community in general. I mean, financial freedom, that's what we're aiming for.
It's a big game changer that's the 6 months kind of timeline. Like a lot of projects, they mint and they can go like 6 months, 1 year without delivering, and by 6 months already people getting the cut of the mining pool. It's a game changer. It's what really differentiates the project from other projects, right, guys? That's what you were going for.
Yeah, I mean, we're aiming for the long haul, right? I just want to give a little disclaimer to whoever watched this. It's more about legal stuff as well. So don't expect results from the works of others. We do not guarantee any rewards. And that's something that we need to say for legal purposes. But I agree with Nico in saying that this is an opportunity for you to get some exposure to Bitcoin mining. Yeah, for sure. And to get some rewards. And the longer you hold your NFT, the more rewards you will have. We have developed a model that we think it's very accurate. And of course, nobody knows the future. If we all know the future and we have a crystal ball, everybody will be rich and famous and so on, so on. So we don't have that, and we're trying to do our best, of course. But we do have the experience and the knowledge and the know-how and the connections and the willingness to do this. And that's a lot to say, right? And we're willing to bring that value to NFTs holders. And we're basically just asking to come and join us in this ride and believe in us, believe in Bitcoin, but also believe in NFTs and believe in Ethereum and the networks and all this stuff. We're trying to, not saying that we're Bitcoin maximalism or Ethereum maximalisms or whatever maximalisms. We're just trying to say the crypto as a whole, it's a very interesting space, and we really believe in the future of it. So that's why we wanted to create a project for a long haul, not only a quick NFT art project. No, we saw more opportunity on the NFT, and we saw more applications, and we're trying to applicate that applicability of the NFT to the Bitcoin mining.
Okay. Sebastian gives the disclaimer and then winks at the camera.
Correct. Yes. Very careful with disclaimers, just so we don't get in legal troubles.
Okay, so let's see. How long after purchasing my Aqua Miner will the project be operational and start mining?
All right, that's a very good question. Look, so we are aiming, like Nico said, it would be great in 6 months' time if we have all that thing operating. We know we kind of striving to build more community right now, because that's the part that is missing, so to speak. Because we basically, like I said from the beginning, we build the project from the back forward. So we build the smart contracts are ready, the art is ready, the team is ready, the connections with the miners, with the mining software, mining hardware, machines and purchases, it's ready. It's just basically we're now building the community and building all these people that want to join us in this ride, and we're aiming for that. But to give you a straight answer on when do we expect to give some rewards to our holders, if everything goes well and we manage to get the 85% mark of the NFT collection of the first generation, that's what we're aiming on the first mint. Then after that, it will take between 4 to 6 weeks to have that part of the mine operating. And that's basically what we're aiming. So 4 to 6 weeks after Gen 0, 85% completely mint.
Okay, awesome. So the next question is, what exactly is an ERC-721R contract, and how does it make my investment bulletproof? So who wants to take that one?
Okay, so it's a very technical jargon, I would say.
Let's see how we can make that a short answer.
Okay, ERC-721R token or contract, it's a type of smart contract that allows to have special features like refunds or like a guarantee on your basically interaction with the contract. Let's not call it investment, because it's not really is. It's just an interaction with a contract. So what this allows us is to give security to the holders that we're not going to move any procedures of the mint, because we cannot, because the contract doesn't allow us to move anything until we reach certain amount of percentage of the collection being mint. In this case, we're setting that target at 85%. Why 85%? Because if we reach to 85%, our financial model says, okay, we can go ahead and purchase the machines. We can start with the setup for the generation 0. So that's why we're setting the target at 85%. But it also gives a guarantee to the project in terms that if we don't match that or we don't reach that goal, then you can just interact with the contract and get a full refund of your mint price, so to speak. Of course, less gas fees, but gas fees nowadays are pretty cheap. It's less than 5 cents. So it actually, the timing has been perfect. I don't think it hasn't been this well timed, to be honest. The price of Bitcoin is down, the machines are down, the Ethereum price is down, everything is down. That makes everything more accessible for builders. So it's great. So this is what we're trying to achieve with the ERC 721 ARC contract that we developed for this.
Okay. That was a good answer. The next one is, how did you plan to keep the momentum going after the mint, since that's what most projects fail? I think we already answered that one, but
yeah, long
the
haul.
project speaks for itself. Like, who doesn't, like, if you're getting rewards, who's gonna lose momentum? Like, if they're giving you money, if you're getting tokens, if you're getting coins, like, I think that speaks for itself. And also, like, I think we're all planning to do maybe weekly or monthly calls with the community and keep everyone updated. It's not just, we actually want to build community, right? We also want to interact with everyone, make sure everyone is involved in the project as much as possible, even do in-person meetups, right? A worldwide travel, meet everyone, and hopefully that will be in 6 months to 1 year if the community is strong and big enough. Does anyone want to add to that?
Yeah, we're developing a really strong marketing plan, so to speak, and we're thinking to do some events in one of the biggest cities in the world. So that's also part of all the whole NFT hysteria. But we really need to focus on growing more the community, and this is why we bring Letizia in, why she's on board with us, and she's helping us with that side of the marketing side. But also is about, we're very accessible founders, I would say. If you have a question for us, go for it. I think I am the most public funder you ever found. Completely doxed. You can check my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my Instagram. I'm pretty visible out there. So yeah, if you have a shout out for any questions you have, I'm pretty forward to answer them all. I don't say I have all the right answers, but what I can guarantee to all the people that watch this is that we'll do our best and working for the community to deliver what we promise on. That's basically our promise in this project.
Yeah, I think even like Sebastian has his home address and his Twitter handle even.
Correct.
Like, here's where I live.
completely doxed team. You can literally search everybody of the team on social medias and you will find every one of us. So yeah, pretty public.
Awesome. So let's see. What about the mining equipment? How do you plan to keep it up to date in years to come? That's a good question. This is a long-term project, so it's a good question.
Yeah. So actually, we implemented something that came from our community that we already have, and it was a question. It was exactly that question, like how are you gonna renew your machines? How are you gonna make this thing even more sustainable? And it was a very interesting question because Santiago and I haven't even thought about it. Like, how do we actually renew these machines? How do we actually do this? Because we're gonna have a mint and that's it. So we implemented some changes in the project that I think worked really well. And we decided that the generation 2, which is the third part of the mint, is going to be dedicated only to renewal of machines. So of the whole collection, there is a third of the collection, 2,200, that will be specifically, or basically their function, or those fishes' function is to mine Bitcoin for renewal of machines. And we will share the financial model that we're working. But basically, we're saying that the next halving, which is the Bitcoin reward of the machines, is going to be decreased by half on 2024. But we put the model as if that already happened. So we're basically saying once we set up this, we're actually thinking or considering that we already have. So we're already receiving less Bitcoin, but it still makes it profitable according to our models. So that's how we kind of approach that problem and how we're going to renew machines in the next following 4 years. So we're thinking of 4-year plan. And then after 4 years, we need to start renewing machines. And then we go on 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years. And that's how we bring in the renewal aspects of the machine to the project, which makes it even more interesting because we didn't think about it, and it came from a community member, and it's like, oh, what you gonna do about that? And we were like, you know what, you're right. Let us get back to the drawing board, see what we can do, and we'll come back with some solution. And we did, and that's the amazing thing that I also like about this kind of space.
Adapt and evolve, and it's not like you ask a question and we don't have the answer, we disappear or something like that. If it's a proper concern, we will address it straightforward.
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, it's impossible for our team to know every possible viable outcome. It's just impossible to know everything. But when you have community that gives you like a fresh perspective or a new set of eyes in things that we didn't think about it, then that is awesome, because then you can kind of have like a feedback and improve on that feedback and say, yes, you're right. Yeah, let me work on that. And we'll get back to you with a solution. And that's what we did.
So, all right, the next question is, what is the structure of the community pool?
So the structure of the community pool, I guess you mean with that question is how we're going to set up the rewards models and things like that?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what they meant. They're talking about
what
is their ROI, right?
Okay, again, disclaimer, there is no promise on rewards or anything like that. But yes.
But you have to wink when you say that, Sebastian.
So if any regulator is around looking, I am giving the disclaimers. So in terms of the rewards or how we're going to set up the community pool is basically we're going to take all that mining power and we're going to put it into the smart contract that we developed for this, which is a staking contract, which is the second phase of the smart contract developing. And to be honest, we're still doing that. That is the part that we're still kind of diving into it. Well, Santiago, myself, and Irving, we're still going through that staking part. But the idea is to take all that mining power, convert it into WBTC, because it's the only way that we can interact with Ethereum blockchain. So convert it into WBTC, which you later on can just exchange for Bitcoin if you want. And take all that Bitcoin power and put it into that contract. And once it's in the contract, there is nothing that we can really do to move the funds or anything like that. The only way to take the rewards out of that community pool is if you own one of the generations of the NFTs that we're gonna mint. So if you own the generation 0, and you can go to the website and check this out, you're gonna earn, or you're gonna get 30% of whatever is in that community pool. However, we designed this in a very kind of elegant way, because the longer you have that NFT stake in the contract, the more rewards you have. And not only that, the more people stake the NFT, then you have less reward, which should help the secondary prices in OpenSea or whatever other market there is outside in terms of floor price and things like that for the NFT, because there will be less available NFTs for sale. However, if there is more NFTs available for sales in the second market, which means a lot of people just take out of the staking contract their NFTs, the more reward will be given to those that keep staking. So we're kind of creating like an incentive for you to stake, but at the same time, if you de-stake it, we create an incentive to come back and stake it again. So it's a little bit confusing and tricky, but I think it's a very innovative way of keeping the prices of the floor steady and to keeping also engaged in I have to stake my NFT because otherwise other people might get my rewards. And that's also like a fear of missing out thing, like a little bit of FOMO, if you want to talk to it like that. So we created that way, that state contract, we created it like that. So that's why the community pool is divided in several percentages. And if you go to the website, you'll see that there is something called the TSG, which is a time staking game that we created. There is something called the Generation 2, which is basically the renewal machine. So that Bitcoin will not be touched until we decide what to do in terms of renewal of machines. And Generation 1 and Generation 0, which is basically our holders NFTs. And of course, there is a part for the team as well. So our team is taking the lowest part. We're only taking 15%. And this is, and has to do with that we are not into this for, I'm not gonna say we're not into this for not making money. Of course, we're doing this for making money, but we're not only for doing money. We wanna do it because we wanna create a brand. And part of that brand will be, these guys are the experts on creating value for NFTs in terms of mining and combining the two things. And we have a very kind of like a nice vision of what we want to do later on. And that will be later on, of course, but that's the whole plan around this kind of like the project itself. And I kind of deviate a little bit from the community pool question, but that is the intention with the community pool. We're going to put all the funds there. They're going to be able to see, everybody will be able to see. It will be on the blockchain, it will be on chain. So it's completely transparent. You will see the moment that the mine pays, and it will be converted into WBTC and pay directly into that community pool. And they will be locked. And the only way to remove that is if you hold the Gen 0, the Gen 1, the Gen 2. Then in this case, the Gen 2 will be held by the team, of course. But the TSG, that would also be locked. And the team, of course, will have also their part, and that one can be moved as we wish. And that's basically how we designed the community pool.
Okay, nice. So the next one is, can you explain the mechanics for distribution and the timeline? Okay.
I think I dive in a little bit into the previous question. So it's like the Generation 0 will be 30%, Generation 1 will be 25%, the Generation 2, aka renewal of machines, will be 20%, the TSG will be 10%, and the team will get 15%. I think I said it all correctly. That will be 100%. So that is the distribution we are planning in terms of how we're gonna kind of give the rewards. So in that sense, if you are an early listener of this project, then you should definitely get into Gen 0 because you will get more rewards than Gen 1. And if you get into Gen 0, most likely you'll get into Gen 1 as well. But yeah, so that is the idea, that the early backers of the project will get a higher sense of rewards because they're believing in us, and they're basically our early believers, so to speak.
Okay, great. And then I think we only have one more question, which is, I think we've answered, but it's like, what do you think about launching in this market and the sentiment that is right now around the industry?
I think it's awesome. I think it's a way of creating a flush to the system. It's a way of moving scammers away. This is awesome. This is a self-correcting, cleansing bear market. It kind of take out all the bad stuff and leave only the people who really want to work with this, the builders, the people who really believe in this. So yeah, that's kind of like how I see it.
Okay, awesome. I think that's everyone's questions for today.
All right, great. Again, welcome to join us, everybody. This is a nice project we're trying to create, a nice vibe as well with our art and things like that. So yeah, I welcome everybody to join us. And if you have any questions, and if you want to have any conversations with me, shout out to me as well, and we'll set it up.
Yeah, join us on social media, on our Discord. You can just ask every question and we will answer.